edition of the show. And yes, a little tiny spoiler here before the official announcement that I've been I've been meaning to make. And here we go. It's out. Podcast is coming out. So do keep an eye out for that. I'll be putting out the official announcement. But let's roll in today. Do you ever hear it's too expensive? Right? What happened? Oh my God. Doesn't it feel like the worst thing in the world? Oh, it's too expensive. And it doesn't matter how much you price it too. Like you might be selling something for $30. You might be selling something for 30,000. And you'll hear the same thing. Oh, it's too expensive. And what does it do for most coaches, consultants, course creators, etc., wherever you land out there? Or if you're selling retail, I help retail sellers as well. Either way, what's happening is, oh my gosh, I'm too excited, and it becomes something about me, right? I remember experiencing this for myself when I was getting started, and just so scared about money and price, especially when it came to selling myself, my services. It felt like such a daunting thing. Selling something else felt a little different, but either way, it's too expensive means something completely different than the way the salesperson, the seller, us usually take it. The way we usually take it is there's something wrong with me. I'm not good enough. I'm inadequate. I better lower my price. And what that creates is a death spiral, because when you lower your price, you lose your profitability and you end up having to try to make up in volume, and you just set yourself up and you become desperate. And ultimately, you're eroding your own sense of value and worth. And that's the real key. So when somebody says it's too expensive, what they're saying is you haven't shown me the value. They don't know how to say that. I mean, it's a funny communication thing. That's really what I teach, is expert communication, to understand, to eliminate the assumptions. But when the prospect is telling you it's too expensive, what that means is I haven't seen the value. More accurately, you, as the salesperson, have not shown them the value. Me, if I was your prospect, you have not shown me the value. So therefore, my easy excuse or rebuttal or objection is it's too expensive. Okay? Because it's just knee-jerk react. It's too expensive. That's how we've been trained to communicate that. So your job is to understand that. And moving forward, how do you eliminate that objection from your sales process, from your sales experience? By clearly defining the value before you get to the point of asking for money, right? And you're not really asking for money when you do this. You're asking for an exchange. You're opening a door. You're inviting rather than closing, okay? So that's a big shift right there. And I said it in a few seconds, but let that sink in. You're inviting rather than closing. How do you do that? By clearly defining the value. How do you clearly delineate the value, present the value? By talking to what are the pain points that they experience. Because we all are motivated by pain and we all think in terms of pain. If I have pain going on, the value to me is that you can eliminate my pain. But if you're just starting with the promise and you've never connected to my pain, I don't feel like you understand me. And I will give you objections. I will be a resistant or hesitant buyer because I'm not clear on how this helps me. So you always have to be thinking, what's in it for me? Is the language of the consumer. How do you present your value to them? You don't start with how great it is, or even worse, how great you are. You're great. You are great. You are amazing. But if you start with how great and how amazing you are, they're not going to connect with it. So you need to start with them. What's their experience? What's their desired experience? How does what you do bridge the gap? Right? As my great friend Frank Sinclair says, bridging the gap between discouragement and hope. That's what he does. That's exactly what he does, is he bridges that gap. So what gap do you bridge? And how do you clearly describe or, explain, tell the story? Make your prospect feel like you ripped the journal out of their page from last night where they were pouring out their heart about how frustrated they are, how much pain they're in, about the situation that's going on that you happen to help them solve. When you do that, you're going to get a lot more people reaching out to you, and you're not going to have to go out there and generate and hustle and try to push and pitch your stuff. Pitching is stupid because it's starting from the wrong place. The pitch should come after they understand the pain, after they understand that you're the one to help them, and they're asking you for it. Wow, how can you help me? And even there, you don't jump right in. You ask some more questions so that they elicit their own motivation. There's a lot of other layers to it, but that's really simply that's how you do it. Is you clearly define the value, communicate the value. That's the word I'm looking. Clearly communicating your value will eliminate the "it's too expensive" objection. It won't happen. It'll be, how do I do this? If you've clearly communicated the value and elicited their motivation. Yeah. So how do you do that? Well, join my program and I'll show you exactly how to do that. Not just show you, I will help you structure your messaging and your sales scripting so that that's what you're doing day in, day out, like I'm doing with all my clients right now. And they're getting fantastic results for it with it. So if you're interested in that, no, it's not too expensive. Let's get that out of the way. It's actually not. I'm running a pretty good price on that group program right now because it's yeah, it's a good time to do that. So reach out to me if you want more information about that. Otherwise, be clear about the value you present. Start with the pain and then present your promise. Spend 90% of your time on the pain and be clear about what they're going through, and then show how your service is the answer that gets them from X to Z, or A to Z, and bridge their gap. All right, thanks for watching this one. Look forward to talking to you again